Forgot that part. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fun with Flags. Sorry, we've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Life sometimes gets in the way, and when we're on two opposite sides of the world, sometimes it can be a little hard to coordinate. But I am none other than your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by my good buddy there, 50. How's it going?
Yeah, as you can see, I'm just sitting here chilling.
Oh shit, that is perfect.
How did you not notice this until now?
I was busy trying to do producerial stuff. That is wow, that's pretty freaking amazing. So if you couldn't tell by this thumbnail, we're here once again, shocker, Canadian here, talking about hockey. But this time I'm going to talk about my personal all-time favorite hockey game, one that took place when I was 13. It is the men's gold medal game from the 2002 Winter Olympics. I watched this on 3 different ways in 2 languages. I watched it on my TV in English. Then when I went with my dad to his cousins, I listened to it on the radio in English. And then when we got to his cousin's place, I watched the game in French. And yeah, this game was watched by the TV ratings for this game were the highest in Olympic history to that time. In the United States, NBC's live coverage of the gold medal hockey game drew a 10.7 rating, the highest rated hockey game, Olympic or NHL, since the 1980 Winter Olympics, and was the largest network hockey audience in the U.S. in 22 years. In Canada, the CBC said that the game drew 10.6 million viewers, making the game the most watched CBC sports program. Yeah, so a lot of people watched it.
Clearly.
All right, so 14 countries played in the. Actually, before I go into my notes, I should probably introduce the players. So I actually have shots of every player, so you can see who they are. Starting off is the captain and my personal all-time favorite hockey player, Mario Lemieux, whose last name literally means the best. He is considered one of the greatest hockey players of all time. He went into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1997. He came out of retirement 3 years later and played another 5 years, during which he captained the 2002 men's Olympic hockey team and the 2006 men's Canadian World Cup team. He is also currently part owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, saving it multiple times. And he is a 5-time Stanley Cup winner, all with the Penguins, 2 as a player, 3 as an owner. And then next up, we have Eddie the Eagle Belfour, who was in goal. He actually didn't play a game during the Olympics. He was mostly there in case somebody else got hurt. He played with Chicago, San Jose, Dallas, which is probably where he shone the most outside of Chicago, Toronto, and there was another team that I can't remember. Very underrated goalie, in my opinion. I don't think he gets as much due as he should. After
Was
that,
the Taron Egerton in the biopic, Eddie the Eagle?
No. So that was a skier. Maybe that's how he got his nickname, because he started around that time. But on his hockey masks, he always had an eagle. So.
Oh, okay.
But no, that was a skier. That was in 1988. Same year as Cool Runnings.
All right.
Next up, we have Eric Brewer, who at that time was at the beginning of his career playing with the Edmonton Oilers. Fun fact: Todd McFarlane designed that jersey.
Cool.
Yeah, this is definitely one that's on my bucket list.
Todd McFarlane is Canadian, right?
Nope, he's American.
Oh.
Yeah. No, they just.
It sometimes feels like all the best Americans are Canadians.
You'd think.
Just like all the most famous Germans are actually Austrian.
Yeah. So Eric Brewer, like I said, was at the start of his career at this time. He played for Edmonton, the New York Islanders, and he also captained the St. Louis Blues after this. He had an all right career, nothing really too special outside of this, of course. Next up, we have the winningest goalie in hockey in NHL history, Martin Brodeur. He holds the record for the most wins and the most shutouts. This was in 2002, so they were off about 2 years removed from their second Stanley Cup. Funny enough, going into this, he was not the favorite to start in goal. That was Patrick Waugh, who opted to not participate in the Olympics. Actually, he ended up taking the starting goaltender job away from another player we're going to talk about next. Curtis Joseph. He was the designated starting goalie going into the Olympics. He unfortunately never won a Stanley Cup. He played for St. Louis, Edmonton, Toronto, and Detroit. Probably best known for his time with Toronto. Another underrated goalie because his stats aren't the best, but he was a phenomenal player.
Love the pose.
Oh yeah. So and what I did is I tried to get pictures from around that time from for the respective teams. Unless it's a player like Lemieux who's been with the Penguins for his whole career, I just took a cool picture. Same with several others on this list. Next up, we have Theoren Fleury, nickname or aka Theo Fleury. He was basically the agitator of the team. He was a prolific goal scorer early in his career with the Calgary Flames, and he got traded to the Colorado Avalanche, and then played with the New York Rangers to end out his career. This was pretty much the last hurrah for him. Like this was after this, his career was pretty much downhill. Fought some personal demons, was a victim of child abuse from a former hockey coach, was revealed after he retired. He had a rough life, but he was a very important part of the 2002 Olympic team. Next up, we have Adam Foote, who was a defenseman for the Colorado Avalanche. Very good, solid stay-at-home defenseman. He won 2 Stanley Cups with the Colorado Avalanche, captained them at one point, played for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then he came back to Colorado to end out his career. Next up, we have Jarome Iginla, who at this point would have been 6 years into his NHL career, but this season in particular was his breakout season. He ended the 2001-2002 NHL season leading the league in points and goals, and if I'm not mistaken, he won the Hart Trophy for MVP, or that would have been the Montreal goalie Jose Theodore. But after this, he ended up having a Hall of Fame career, leading the Calgary Flames to the Stanley Cup Final in 2004, the first time a Canadian team had made it to the Stanley Cup Final in 11 years. He ended up getting traded away to Boston after many years with the Flames. Then he played with Pittsburgh as well. He played for Colorado, and he played for Los Angeles, and I think there might be another team in there that I'm missing. And yeah, he's had his number retired by the Calgary Flames, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, because I don't remember if he has or not. Next up is the lone Vancouver Canuck on the team. We have Ed Jovanovski, or as he was affectionately known by the Canuck fans, Jovo Cop, because this guy was a hard-hitting defenseman. He was the number 1 defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks at the time. He played for the Florida Panthers before he went to Vancouver. Then he got traded back to the Florida Panthers, where he ended up playing out his career as their captain. He's one of the greatest players in Florida history, and definitely a pivotal part of one of my personal favorite eras of the Vancouver Canucks. Next up, we have Simon Gagner, who was either a rookie or in his second year. I don't remember. He was very early in his career at this point. Unfortunately, Simon Gagner, after this win, after winning the gold medal, didn't really go on to do much. That's none really much to say on him. Played for Philadelphia, and he played for Dallas. I don't remember. I know he played for other teams. I just don't remember who else. Next up, we have someone who should be considered better than he is, but unfortunately injuries and concussions derailed his career, and because of that he missed out on the 98 Olympics. Captain of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, Paul Kariya. He scores probably one of the more memorable goals from this Olympics, which you will actually see. This guy was a great goal scorer, but unfortunately too many concussions got the better of him and pretty much ended his career. He waded to the Stanley Cup Final once in 2003, as you can see the patch on his chest. Unfortunately, he did not win. It was during that final, actually, that he got one of his concussions, because holy shit, did Scott Stevens almost kill him. Holy crap. Next up, we have someone else whose career was cut short by concussions, but he made it in the Hockey Hall of Fame because he was the most dominant player of the 1990s, Eric Lindros. He basically was a centerman. He was big, but he had hands and he had speed, and he could score goals. He was an amazing hockey player. Started his career with the Philadelphia Flyers. Then he went to the New York Rangers because of a dispute with the Flyers. And then he ended his career with Dallas and Toronto. Next up, we have Scott Niedermayer, who was a longtime New Jersey Devil. And then in 2006, he signed with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and captained them to their first Stanley Cup Final appearance, and then a few years later, captained them to their first Stanley Cup Final win. He has had his numbers retired by both teams. And this guy, I think, deserves to get in the Hockey Hall of Fame eventually. Next up, we have the guy who's known for calling his goal of the 1996 All-Star game, Owen Nolan, the only Canadian actually born in Ireland. He started his career with the Quebec Nordiques. And then he joined them in Colorado during their first season. However, he was traded away before the end of the season, so he unfortunately did not win the cup with them that year. He ended up in San Jose, where he captained them for a few years. And then he went to the Toronto Maple Leafs after that, which is, I believe, where he ended his career. Next up, we have someone who you want on your team, but you hate to play against because he is a dirty son of a bitch. Chris Pronger. I have seen him do some sketchy stuff. However, he is also responsible for one of my favorite things, and that is smushing Justin Bieber against the boards on a charity hockey game.
What?
I have to show you the picture later. It's pretty fucking hilarious.
Okay.
He started his career with the Hartford Whalers. Then he got traded to the St. Louis Blues, where he captained them and won the MVP in 2000. And then he went to the Philadelphia Flyers. And then after that, he ended his career with the Flyers. After St. Louis, he went to Edmonton for 1 year, where they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. And then after that, he got traded to Anaheim, where he won his only Stanley Cup. Next up is another one of my favorite players and one of two people, the reason why for anything sports I wear number 19, Burnaby Joe Sakic. He was a two-time Stanley Cup winner, longtime captain of the Colorado Avalanche, current general manager of the team. He is considered one of the greatest leaders in hockey history, and he has one of the best wrist shots you will ever see. Next up, you have Mike Peca, who started his career with Vancouver. Then he got traded to the Buffalo Sabres, where he captained them for a few years, to their second and last Stanley Cup appearance as of this point in 1999, where they lost to Dallas. And then after that, he signed with the New York Islanders here, captained them for a few years, and then he got traded to, I believe, the Columbus Blue Jackets, where he ended out his career. A clutch player, someone who, when you needed a goal, you could count on him to score it. After that, you have my other favorite number 19, Steve Yzerman. This guy exemplifies guts to me. He won 3 Stanley Cups with the Detroit Red Wings as their captain, 96, 97, and 2002. And in the 2002 playoffs, he played all 4 rounds on one leg because his other leg was completely torn to shit, to the point where he had to miss 3/4 of the next season following surgery. This guy started off as a goal scorer, a point producer, but then halfway through his career, he switched up his game and became one of the best defensive forwards in the NHL at the time. Next up, we have his teammate Brendan Shanahan, who is currently the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He started his career with the New Jersey Devils. Then he got traded to the St. Louis Blues because there was some weird contract things in the early 90s. I can't quite recall the story. After that, he got traded to the Hartford Whalers. Then he signed with the Detroit Red Wings, where he had the most success in his career, where he won 3 Stanley Cups. And then he signed with the New York Rangers, and then he went to the New Jersey Devils, and I believe that is where he ended his career. And after that is Ryan Smith, someone who is a heart and soul guy. You wouldn't really consider him somebody who's Hockey Hall of Fame worthy, but he definitely had a good career. Longtime Edmonton Oiler, got traded away to the New York Islanders so he could win a Stanley Cup. And then he signed with the Colorado Avalanche after that, and then he got traded back and ended his career with the Edmonton Oilers. He's definitely considered one of the best Oilers of all time. And then that's it for the Canadian roster. Next up, next up is, what's next? You know what? Now time for the notes.
All right. I'm not going to have to remember all these names, right?
No.
There isn't a test at the end.
Nope, you're not getting a test.
Okay, cool.
All right. Hold on a second. I got to get one thing ready. Okay, so 14 countries played in the 2002 Olympics. Ah, crap. I actually got rid of the screen with the videos. Because I am a schmuck.
Do you know, are you using Edge or Chrome?
Chrome. Always use Chrome.
No, because in Edge there's the option of reusing tabs that you just closed or windows that you just closed.
Hmm.
I use it all the time when I accidentally.
All right. So 14 countries played in the 2002 Olympics. 6 hockey powers, Canada, at the time the Czech Republic, Finland, Russia, Sweden, and the United States, were automatically admitted to the final 8. The other 8 countries, Austria, Belarus, France, Germany, Latvia, Slovakia, Switzerland, and Ukraine, played in a preliminary round in 2 pools. The winner of those pools, Belarus and Germany, advanced to the final round with the 6 hockey powers. The biggest surprise of the tournament was Belarus 0-3-0 in Group D play, knocking off the 3-0 Team Sweden in quarterfinal play. Now, Team Sweden heading into the tournament were considered the favorites to win it all, and because they lost to Belarus, they got out. And I'm going to show you the goal that changed it around for them.
Well, that's a goal.
That goal completely changed the game. Sweden was dominating up to that point, and that happened, and momentum changed, and that was it. They were out. It was the talk. It was the talk of the Olympics up until the gold medal game, pretty much. After that upset, the Swedish media held their players responsible for the loss, even going as far as to publish their NHL salaries. The players, yeah, oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, is that legal?
I don't know, but Sweden was pissed. The players responded by not returning to Sweden during the NHL break, although that was unlikely since the Olympics were held in the same continent as their NHL teams and play resumed soon after the Olympic breaks. Anyways, and then 4 years later in the 2006 Olympics from Turin, Italy, Sweden won the gold medal. So it worked out. Another major surprise was the silver medal finish of Team USA, which was not considered a contender as it was steeped heavily in over 30 players aged over 30. Although it retained most of the players from the 1998 team, which had performed below expectations, this time it was coached by Herb Brooks, who was responsible for the miracle on ice over the Soviet Union in the 1980 Winter Olympics. And it's to the American.
That sounds familiar.
It's to the Americans what the 72 goal at the Summit Series is. Despite, do I have the picture? Yep. Despite being close to the ends of their respective careers, Mike Richter and Phil Housley put up phenomenal performances in the tournament. Brett Hull, John LeClaire, and Mike Modano formed the Divine Line, which led the tournament in scoring. USA and Russia played to a 2-2 tie in their group game, drawing some comparisons to the famous 1980 Miracle game. Ending up, USA finished second behind Sweden in the round-robin results. USA and Russia... Sorry?
I didn't say anything.
I thought you did, sorry. USA and Russia met again in the semifinals of the tournament. The USA's victory over Russia came coincidentally on the 22-year anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. The upset was at Lake Placid in 1980, and coincidentally also on a Friday. The Americans stormed out to a 3-0 lead for the first 2 periods before withstanding a 2-goal rally from the Russians to advance. Russian coach Slava Fetisov, who is himself considered a Russian great when it comes to hockey, but comes off as a kind of a douchebag. One of the stars of the 1980 Soviet squad, so he was actually on the team. complained about the selection of NHL referees to officiate Olympic matches, a stipulation by the NHL if most Olympic players are NHLers, and charged their officials with trying to fix a Canada-US final for North American audiences. I didn't complain. However, Russian goalie Nikolai Habibulin, who has one of the best nicknames ever, the Bulin Wall, thought that refereeing was fair, having faced 38 shots in the first 2 periods and 49 overall. That's a lot of rubber flying at you. Not the most I've seen, but still a lot. Canada themselves had a lackluster start, losing 5-2 to Sweden, only managing to defeat Germany by a score of 3-2 and tying with the Czech Republic. These performances prompted an emotional response from Team Canada manager Wayne Gretzky, who is considered the greatest hockey player of all time, sole owner or co-holder of 60 NHL records. 60. Only player in history to score over 2,000 points. If you took away all of his goals, his assists alone are still more than any other player in NHL history has points.
So he's the Muhammad Ali of hockey.
100%. He scored 800 goals within the first. Sorry, he scored 1,851 points in the first 10 years of his career to break the record that took 40 years to do. Think about that for a second. Yes, so these performances prompted an emotional response from Team Canada manager Wayne Gretzky. In particular, the referee's failure to call a clear hit from behind on Canada's Theoren Fleury in the game against the Czech Republic. I'm going to play some of the speech for you.
Seem to be some greater possibilities for this team now than there was 24 hours ago.
Well, first of all, the pressure and the expectation on our team is probably far greater than any other team in this tournament. You top that with the fact that we haven't won since 50s, makes it even that much more difficult. And we had a tough second period in game one. We had a very emotional game tonight. Thought we played really well. And now we're in a situation where we're going to play a team in Finland who plays very hard, and we can kind of control our destiny. So we played much better tonight with much more emotion and much more desperation. I thought we played really well.
Next question. On the left.
Wayne, what's the difference? I mean, it didn't make any difference in the seeding, but what's the difference between 3-3 and 3-2 as far as the final goal?
For us?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
the tie really didn't make any difference.
No, you just probably the biggest difference is what you guys write. To go into any game, you want to have some sort of a high, and we deserved a tie tonight. At the worst, I thought we played really well. I thought Mario was tremendous. It was, we're set up in a pretty good situation heading into Wednesday.
Question on the left, Paul Romanek.
Wayne, why does it usually, not always, but usually take Canadian teams 3 or 4 games before they start to roll in these things? Is it a lack of respect on the part of NHL guys for the international game, or what is it?
No, not at all. Tim Mann, everyone in there will tell you how great a player Hasek is. They'll tell you how great Sundin is. They'll tell you how good Yager is. So we know they're good players. I don't think we dislike those countries as much as they hate us. And that's a fact. They don't like us. They want to see us fail. They love beating us. They might tell you guys something different, but believe me, when you're on the ice, that's what they say. They don't like us. And we got to get that same feeling towards them. I mean, right now it's comical to listen to things that are being said. almost sickens my stomach to turn the TV on because I'm such a proud Canadian and such a fan of our game and very proud of all the players in our locker room. And it makes me ill to hear some of the things that are being said about us. And, well, it's not very good. And what's really annoying to me in the 70s when we went through this whole thing about hooliganism and all that kind of stuff, if we would have did what they did tonight, it would be a big story. I think the guy should be suspended for the rest of the tournament. If it was a Canadian player that did it, it would be a big story. But a Czech player did, it's okay. I just don't understand it. You guys saw it. If I'm wrong, I would tell you I'd apologize. But one of the things that we got to eliminate out of our game is that kind of stuff. And if a Canadian did it, it would be big news. But a Czech does it, and it's okay. And I don't understand it. There was a spear and a cross-check in the same play. I don't get it.
Question in the front.
Wayne, just to make sure, just to clarify that, do they hate Canadians because you're like the Yankees of baseball, or
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard a quote last night when we were tied 0-0 after the first period, and that was the quote. It was like the Kansas City Royals being tied with the New York Yankees, 2-2. It's kind of ridiculous to me.
Also, you look like you're on the edge of your seat when they were reviewing that goal. I was
Well,
wondering.
it's clearly a goal.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing to review. I don't know what we were reviewing. They couldn't skate with us in the third period. They should have had 4 or 5 penalties, hooking, holding, tripping. We outplayed them in the third period. They talk about we're not a skating team. We can't move the puck. We have no finesse. That's crazy. We outskated them in the ground in the third period.
Question.
And, there should have been 4 or 5 penalties, blatant penalties, and should have been 2 or 3 suspensions. Am I hot? Yeah, I'm hot because I'm tired of people taking shots at Canadian hockey. And when we do it, we're hooligans. And when Europeans do it, it's okay because they're not tough or they're not dirty. That's a crock of crap.
Question on the left.
Some of the things that have.
So it goes on for another 5 minutes. But
I've noticed. You do know you can actually upload these to the StreamYard thing, right?
I know.
All right.
But yeah, I just prefer to do it this way. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And then, like, this one was a last minute thing. This one was a last minute thing.
Okay,
anyway.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, this one's a last minute thing.
This could cost us copyright. Something.
That's why for the goals, I have other people's videos where they did stuff to them.
Okay.
Because those were the only ones I could find anyways where they had the goals individually. Okay. So that speech pretty much woke Canada up. They improved in the elimination round, defeating Finland 2-1 and easily beating surprise semifinalist Belarus 7-1. Canada. So next up, it was Canada and the U.S. For both nations, the gold medal game came coincidentally on the anniversary of each nation's last gold medal in men's Olympic hockey. Canada last won 50 years previously at the 1952 Winter Olympics when they tied the U.S. 3-3. Olympic ice hockey previously only had a round-robin portion, I guess. The U.S. won their last gold medal when they defeated Finland 2 days after the Miracle on Ice. Both games, coincidentally, were played on a Sunday. So the final score was 5-2 for Canada. So first up, we have Tony Amonte of the of Team USA opening up the scoring, making it 1-0 for the US. And I got rid of the share screen. Damn it. Yeah, there we go.
Canada. Good play by Pronger to move over to take that spot vacated by McGinnis. Amani dumped it back. Canada keeps the heat on in there. Good forechecking by Lindros. It comes loose near the line and poked away. A 1-on-1. This is Amani in. Scores! A break for Amani. 1-0. USA. go back far enough to show the plate that way. Yes, they are. That not only got the puck out of the zone, but that sent Amani in the clear. Coming down the wrong wing, lets it go, and beats Brodeur on the shot. Doug White, a beautiful attempt, the diving pass, the clear to zone. Amani picks it up, and it's 1-0 in.
Nice.
Hold on. I'm going to turn off autoplay. Can you do that with playlists?
I think so.
Okay.
I never done it, so I don't know if you
There.
can.
Okay. Next up, we have. Shit, I actually need the box score because I don't remember if it's one of the ones I don't have a video for or not next. 2002 Remember Olympics. Shit. Score. Gotta love live TV, folks. Not live. We're
I
pre-recording.
think we need a card for that.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
the time
we
it's happening. My legs keep moving.
Okay, yes. So next up is the Canada ties the game 1-1, and this is probably the goal of the playoffs because of the play Mario Lemieux makes on it. So 1 second, because once again, got rid of the share screen. So I'm just going to circle Mario Lemieux here for you to see him. Right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Eyes focused on him.
Okay. I wish the video quality was better, but it was 2002.
Gotta work with what you got.
Okay, so did you catch what he did?
Got the goal past the guy.
No. He wasn't the one that scored the goal.
Who was? Play it again?
So, okay. So Mario Lemieux is in the middle of the ice. He's not the one that shoots. He's the middle of the ice. Remember, this guy right here.
Guy.
He's the only one with a stick on the right hand. He's the one of two with a stick on the right hand side.
Okay. Oh.
Right, that's him right there. Did you see what he did?
Yeah, he didn't touch it.
So what he did, he made it look like he was accepting the shot and let it pass through his legs so the other players could surprise the goalie and score.
Yeah.
He faked out the goalie. He fooled the goalie in a way that nobody's ever seen before.
The Vronsky feint.
Yeah, which is what Mario Lemieux, it's one of the things he was known for. Like, he did things players had never done before. He's still the only player in NHL history to score 5 goals in one game, and each in a different advantage. So one at even strength, one on a power play, one on a shorthanded goal, one on a breakaway, and one on an empty net. Or no breakaway. One on the empty net. No break, but still, he's the only player to have ever done that in the over 100-year history of the NHL.
You're saying all these terms like it's supposed to mean something to me.
Well, hopefully the audience will understand then.
All right.
Okay, and then after that, and after this goal, we have unfortunately the first of the 2 goals by Jerome McGinley that I could not find a clip out for. After that, we have Brian Rafalski, a defenseman for the USA, scoring to tie it up.
32 left in the penalty to Al McInnes. Rafalski tipped it up along the boards. USA spread out in there. Canada the four-man box shot from the line. It's deflected away from the net. Hull has it now. The ever-dangerous Brett Hull. Sharp angle from there. Cody gives it to him. Better angle from there. Doesn't shoot it though. Modano gets it back. Here's Rafalski. Goal! game. Power play goal, USA. 2-2. Well, they move that puck around very nicely. Modano makes a lovely pass for Rafalski, who walks into the dot. Lets it go. It goes off Chris Pronger's stick, back through Brodeur. Right there.
Yep, that break.
So a bit of a lucky break on the Rafalski shot, but it's looking through.
So the guy basically put the goal to himself.
Accidentally scored on his own net.
That's gotta suck.
Yep. After this, unfortunately, is the second. Nope. Hold on. After this is actually a goal by Joe Sakic, his first of two. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that this was another one that I couldn't find. Yeah, unfortunately, this is another one I couldn't find. I just realized that now. And then afterwards is the final Jerome McGinley goal to make it 4-2. And then next up is the goal that's put away Team USA for good.
Trying to hang on and get a break. It's going to be a break. It is Joe Sakic scores. Joe Sakic scores.
Halfway across the thing?
Yep.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's gotta be it. Take a look at the Canadian bench. If you don't mean what I say, that's more than enough. Here it is. Sakic beats Leclerc to the net. The American defenseman fell in the center zone to give the one step Joe Sakic needed to get in alone and make sure that Canada won the game. They're singing here in Salt Lake City.
Yep. And that game put away to goal forward. Oh, started playing something else. Like, what the fuck? So the final score was 5-2. It was only the second time in first in 70 years that the U.S. men's hockey team lost an Olympic game on home soil. The first loss came against, surprise, Team Canada, a 2-1 OT loss in their first game at the 1932 Olympics in Lake Placid. After this, Joe Sakic was named game MVP for his 2-goal performance, and especially for the last goal. And this is where it was revealed, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, the lucky existence of the lucky loonie, where they was dug out and shown and what have you. And then after this, this team went down in Canadian history. Like, this is a great hockey team, and one of the reasons why it's my personal favorite hockey game is because this is like a time capsule of when I was at the height of my hockey fandom when I was younger. So these are like the players that best represent my favorite era of hockey, and a lot of them are on Team Canada and on Team USA. And also there's the nostalgia factor and the fact that, you know, they won the gold and I saw it. And, yeah.
Nice.
Any questions?
No, I mean, I guess there's one. So all these players stay together, or did they all
No,
go back?
So what these tournaments are is the best players from their countries that represent their face off in a tournament representing their home country from where they're born. So no, these guys. So what they did is they had a break in the middle of the season, so this can happen. So all the players, they're playing against each other during the regular season. Then those in the Olympics, they flew into Salt Lake City. And then now they were either playing together or playing against each other, you know, against their teammates sort of thing. So, no, they didn't stay together past this tournament. However, in 2006 in the World Cup, I'd say about 90% of this team was on that team. From what I remember, I haven't watched that game since it aired. And, oh, shit. Yeah, Mario Lemieux was captain. I believe Paul Courier was there. Brodeur was there. I'm pretty sure it was like 90% of the team, at least a lot of the big players.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was like Canada's greatest hits at the time.
Pretty much. This was Canada's greatest hits. And like, there's a lot of Hall of Famers or potential Hall of Famers or players who've had their, you know, been honored by their teams for being good players. Like this, they're all great.
Hence, they won the Olympics.
Damn right. And like I said, it was a great story. There is a documentary that came out called Gold Rush 2002, chronicling the whole thing. I own the videotape, watched the shit out of the videotape, and then I found it on YouTube and I rewatched it for purposes of this. And it brought back a lot of great memories.
Cool.
All right, man. What do you have for the next episode?
So for me, the next episode is, as you probably know, we just had Yom Kippur earlier this week as of the recording of this video. And of course, this episode was supposed to be uploaded around the time of Yom Kippur, but again, things got in the way and, had to reschedule. So I am deciding, in honor of our original schedule, to have this episode and my episode around the Yom Kippur. I'm just gonna do an episode about the Yom Kippur War. You have heard of the Yom Kippur War, right?
No, but it does sound redundant.
Why?
Well, what is the purpose of your Yom Kippur?
It's a fast, and you ask forgiveness from people and from God.
And the war is quite literally the opposite of that. And redundant means they cancel each other out. Like it's an oxymoron, Like it's like, what the fuck?
Okay, so it's a good thing you're completely oblivious to this whole thing, because
Yeah.
that leaves more to the explaining.
But it's just you hear Yom Kippur and what it is, and you're like, war, huh? Well, what the fuck?
I can already tell we're going to have a very interesting episode. And of course, I am also going to choose to focus on a very specific part of the war, but I'm going to be talking about the rest of the war in general. So keep your eyes out for that.
All right. So, so you can find me on my personal Instagram at soda_the_saxman. You can find 50 where?
You can find me every Thursday on this show and every Monday on my show, the Greatest Show in the Galaxy, where I talk about the greatest show in the galaxy ever, Doctor Who. And I talk even more Doctor Who on my own YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek. I do weekly reviews of every single Doctor Who episode from 1963 all the way to 2022. And I also just uploaded a about 12-minute video where I just talked about the passing of Michael Gambon earlier today, as of the recording of this video. Of course, Dumbledore and Kazran Sardik from Doctor Who. So go ahead and check that one out. And you can also check out all these wonderful channels from in and around the Benverse at large. We've got Something to Talk About, So Digging Wrestling, Galaxy Geeks, Multiverse of Geekdom, Movie Lovers Unite, The Midnight Cinema, 8-10 Reviews, this channel and my channel, and of course, In the Front Row, which is still not on this thumbnail.
Yeah. And of course, you can find me doing my usual shenanigans here with 50 on this channel. And you can find me over at the So Diggin' Wrestling Network, or wherever me and Diggin' are available and feel like it. We go and do a live show. And he releases shorts and vlogs from when he goes to the multiple wrestling shows that are in his area of the United States, the lucky son of a bitch. So, as usual, guys, we are doing it for... Where the hell is it? My mouse is busted.
It's over here.
On it. For this guy, yes. For Ben Rayner, I got a nice anniversary reminder of something on Facebook today, and it got me thinking of him.
Fucking Facebook.
Yeah.
Reminds you things.
I know, right? So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe to all those channels. Like I said, we're doing it for this guy. And guys, don't forget to let your geek flag fly. That's what makes us who we are. We will see you next time. There, my mouse is doing it again. Next time on Fun with Flags. Bye.